Hello there friends and welcome. Today we are going to talk about how to install mods for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and some of the mods that I consider to be the best. The first thing you have to do is download Unity Mod Manager from Nexus Mods, which I have linked down below. Head to the Files tab, then choose to download Unity Mod Manager. After that, simply unzip or extract the folder we just downloaded anywhere in your computer really. If you head to the Description tab, you will be able to see more detailed installation instructions, but it is very simple to do really. Do note that you don't have to extract it to the actual game folder. In this case, I extracted it to my Downloads folder to keep it simple. After extracting, simply run the Unity Mod Manager executable file. It is recommended that you run it as administrator. Doing this will open the Unity Mod Manager installer window. Now you have to select which game you want to install it for, which will be of course Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And then choose the game folder where your Pathfinder is installed in. If you have the Steam version, then it should be Program Files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and then Pathfinder Second Adventure. This is the folder that we need. Now just choose Install, and there we go, we have already installed Unity Mod Manager for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Now we have to install the actual mods, which is very simple as well. First, head to the download page for the mod you want, and this is also going to be linked down below for the mods I have chosen for this video, and download the mod that you want. Now you don't actually have to extract this mod file. All you have to do is basically hold left click over the zip file, then drag it over the mod section tab of Unity Mod Manager, and drop it here where it says drop zip files here. As you can see, we have just added Bubblebuffs to our mods tab. This will automatically install the mod that you have just dragged and dropped here. You can also, if you prefer, use the install mod option and then clicking on the mod zip file, which we have just done for ToyBox. The end result is the same really, so basically either choose the install mod option or drag and drop your mod folder here. Very simple, right? Now after installing the mods, and if everything's working fine, whenever launching the game and hitting the main screen, you will be greeted by the Mod Manager window, and over here you will be able to see all of the mods that you currently have installed, and also their status. By clicking on the mod name, you will be able to open its unique mod configuration window, but let us wait until we are in-game to do that. Now remember that if you want to access the mod window, all you have to do is press both Ctrl and F10, and this is going to bring you the Mod Manager window. Alright, now let us talk about the mods I have chosen and what each one does. The first, and quite frankly the one I use the most out of them all, is Bubblebuffs. This mod is simply amazing, and it's going to give you a massive quality of life increase. If you've been playing Wrath of the Righteous, then you know both buffs and pre-buffing are basically a necessity, especially on core, hard and unfair. The main issue is not really just how many times you have to cast each buff, but all of the buffs that you have to cast before battle. There's quite a lot of them really. It is true that with the greater enduring mythic ability you can actually extend your buffs to 24 hours duration, but this is not enough really, because most times you will have to travel through different map areas for battles, dungeons, quests and such, and by the time you reach another area in the world map, even your 24 hours buffs have already worn off. And this is where Bubblebuffs will come into play, as it's going to let you automate your entire buff sequence with the click of just a single button. Getting it to work is also very easy. After installing the mod, simply head to any of your character's spellbook and click this new tab here, Buff Setup. In here you can choose all the buffs that you want, including low duration buffs by clicking Show Round Level, and also from spells and abilities. We of course want mostly the spells tab. Now how to automate it? Well, first select the spell that you want to be casting. I'll first go with Shield of Faith, as it is a spell that you have to cast on every single character. So select Shield of Faith. Now over here you will notice this tab saying Normal, Important or Short. You can group each buff sequence that you want in either of these categories here. I like keeping it simple, so I choose Normal for all of my long duration buffs, and later on Short for the 1 round level buffs. So let's go with Normal first. After you have chosen Shield of Faith, select the character that can cast the spell, in my case only Darren, and then click on the portrait of every single character that you want to cast the buff on, in my case everyone. After doing that, you will notice that the character's portrait will become green, meaning the spell will be cast on them. So let us choose everyone. Now let's choose Death Ward for example. As you can see here, both Ivu and also Darren are able to cast the spell, but I only want Darren to be doing it because he has greater enduring spells. So click on the arrow icon above Ivu and select Ban from casting. This way only Darren will cast it. Now select Darren and once again click on the characters that you want to cast the spell. Right below the spell name, you will be able to see how many times you are going to cast the buff, and right next to it, how many castings you still have available. So in this case, I'm going to cast this on 6 characters, and I can still cast it 6 more times. This will also work for meta magic spells. For example, I have another casting of Death Ward here that has the little heightened meta magic spell above it, meaning it's going to spend level 5 slots instead of level 4. If you want the meta magic version, simply select it and then cast it on your characters. Now for certain spells such as Animal Growth, some of your character's portraits will be red, meaning they are not valid targets for the spell. This is because Animal Growth will only work on animals, so basically only our pets, the dog, horse and wolf. Ivo is a dragon, so she doesn't count. This is the same for buffs that are personal only. In this case, Scylla can only cast Aura of Greater Courage on herself. Now simply repeat the process for all the buffs that you want. Just look at that, 118 buffs all automated that will come at once with the click of a single button. I also like to keep another list but with short duration buffs, such as for example Divine Favor and also Divine Power. After automating all your buffs, all you have to do is click on this new icon here called Buff Normal, which is right above the inventory icon. With just one click, we will instantly get all of the buffs that we have chosen applied to our characters. Just look at that, all of this with just a single button, really. The best part is that this isn't really cheating, because the mod will actually spend our spell slots to cast the buffs. So you can't really cast buffs that you don't have access to. Also, I believe by default you can't do this during battle, but there is an option to change it if you so desire. Simply select buff short to cast those low 1 round level buffs that you have. Another mod I really like using is Enhanced Inventory. This will expand your loot filter options such as unlearned scrolls, unlearned recipes, unread documents and so on. But most importantly, it's going to add the search tab to your inventory window. The main issue with Wrath of the Righteous inventory is how small the icons are really, so it can be very hard to find any specific item. With this, all you have to do is type the item's name and you will be able to find them. Now we have what is probably the most complex and feature-heavy mod of them all, ToyBox, a bag of tricks. This mod can do quite a bit of everything really, but can be a bit complex because of all the features it has. So I'll be going over some of the more common uses. So let's say you want a certain item to be spawned. Select the search and pick option first. Wait for the blueprints to load, then select for example equipment and type the name or effect of the item that you want. For example, let us go with the Shy Lily helmet, a very powerful unique helmet that is also missable. Press enter and here we are, the Shy Lily helmet. Now the best thing about this is that it's also going to filter items based on the description instead of just the name, as the names sometimes tend to be different. For example, Shy Lily is actually called Artifact Demonic Helmet item, but by reading the description we can confirm it's the actual helmet that we want. Now simply choose add one and here we go, we will have spawned the item for our characters. You can also use this mod to respec or remove party members just by going to the party tab. It also lets you trigger and complete certain quests or events by heading over to the Etudes tab. Now be warned, as it says here, this can either fix your game or perhaps broke it depending on how you use it, so be sure to keep a save before trying this option to add or remove quests. With the aid of the Loot tab, you can check for all of the items currently in the area that you are, so you don't miss out on anything. The Crusade tab of course has a lot of stuff to do with Crusade mode, such as improving your kingdom stats and so on. Overall, this mod's options fall more in the cheating line, but frankly it's a single player game, so frankly you should use it the way you see fit. Basically whatever lets you improve the experience you're having with the game. In the Bag of Tricks tab we have more general options, such as resting, giving our characters buffs, killing all of the enemies in the map, teleporting party members, and so on. Because of how many features this mod has, be sure to read the mod description for a better experience when it comes to knowing what you can actually do. Now let us talk about the Visual Adjustments mod. It's going to add a new tab here below your character sheet called Visual Adjustments. Simply click it and you will then be able to customize your character's looks in all of the ways that you see fit really, such as changing how the items they have equipped look, the most useful one probably being armor. So you can wear whatever armor you want and then select its customized appearance. Meanwhile, on the mods option window, you can do the same and a bit more as well. For example, I think one of the most common uses will be to change your character's portrait. Simply select the character you want by going to Select Doll, go to the Portrait selection, and as you can see here, our character's portrait will change. You can basically get the portrait of whatever character in the game really, including some monsters and also Crusade mode units. By pressing use custom, this will change to the custom portraits that you have. So a very easy way of getting different custom portraits in the game, without having to change the portrait folder, which can be a bit tiresome. And of course we have all other sorts of options such as body type, face, war paint, hair, beards, and so on. Basically the options you get at character creation. This is great because you don't have to respect the character at all. Well, so this was it everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to both install and use some of the mods that I find to be the best for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Please be sure to comment down below if you think I missed a certain mod that has potential or is your favorite. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel to help it grow if you can, and see you next time, friends.